Hello everybody, welcome to my presentation today. My name is Sadie Nielsen. I am a student here at Utah Valley University, and I am going to talk to you about Budgeting 101. I am in the personal financial planning major, so I know a little bit about budgeting and how a budget can really help you in your life. So first, I'm going to start off by showing you something kind of scary. If you can see this picture, it says nearly half of all Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Now, do you know what that means? Do you know what it means to live paycheck to paycheck? It's something that is kind of scary because when you think of emergencies or big purchases that might need to happen and you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you haven't recently gotten paid, then what are you going to do? There's a study that shows that only 40% of Americans have at least $500 in their bank account. So 60% of America, six in 10 people have less than $500 in their bank account. Now that seems really scary. To college students, maybe that seems a little normal for us, but that is pretty scary to live in a world with that, because you even think of tires. If you need to get new tires, that's, if you get a good deal, at least a couple $100. You think of needing to pay rent or losing your job and then you can't pay your rent or things like that. You know, there's a lot of things that could happen that make it so we need money to live in this world. So it's really a scary thing. So that is what I'm going to be talking to you about today, is budgeting and how it can help your life. Now, I've talked to a lot of people about this, even members of my family that say, I don't want a budget, I don't need a budget, I'll spend my money how I want, a budget will restrict me, but I'm here to convince you otherwise and to give you some information that will help you to know that having a budget can actually help you be able to buy the things that you want, do what you want, as well as be prepared for those things like a job layoff or buying tires if you blow one out on the freeway or something like that. So today we are going to start with what is a budget and the importance of it. A budget is just kind of like I was saying, a way to allocate your money or to put your money into certain categories so that you can know where your money's going. A budget is really just knowing where your money's going and how you're spending your money, which is really important because a lot of times we don't know where our money's going. And I've helped a few people, and I always tell them, print a bank statement of the last 30 days. And they print a bank statement and we go over it and they are shocked at where their money's going. All the transactions are from them, but they're shocked to find how much they're spending on things like fast food and groceries and different activities they do. They don't realize how much money they spend a month. So it's really good to know where your money's going and what you need to do with it, as well as it can help you prepare for emergencies and things that could happen. You never know when even a natural disaster could happen or any type of thing where you'll need money, and if you're one of the 60% of Americans, that would be a really hard spot to be in if something happened and you needed the money and you couldn't get cash. So my next question is, why do I need a budget? So kind of like the things we've talked about, you need a budget so that you can do all of the things that you want to do, as well as be prepared for emergencies. If you want to go on a trip to Hawaii, if you live far away from home and you would like to travel home more frequently, if you want to buy that new pair of Adidas, if you pretty much anything, you want to travel the world, anything, you are going to have some type of budget. And if not, then if you go into debt to pay for those things or live off of credit cards or start owing people money, eventually you'll have to have a budget. It's kind of like the saying, if you don't take time to be healthy now, you'll take time to be sick later. It's the same thing. If you don't take time to budget now, you'll have to take time to budget later. And a budget starting now, paying things with your own money, doing things your own way is a lot easier than having to take all your money later and pay everybody else back from money you spent. So that's a lot of the reason why you need a budget, is to be able to do what you want and not owe other people money, to have that good security. So I'm sure you're all just dying to know, how do I make a budget? What is a budget? Where do I start? What do I do? And budgets really depend on your personal financial situation, where you're at. It depends on what you want to spend your money on, what you have to spend your money on. If you have debt, if you owe any person money for any type of thing, it depends on a lot of things. But I do have here the most basic budget. So it's called the 50-20-30 rule. So what the 50-20-30 rule is, just 3 simple things, 3 categories of where your money goes. So that means 50% of your money goes to your needs, 20% goes to savings, and 30% goes to your wants. So that's the most basic budget. Then as you go along, as you look at your own situation, you can kind of tweak it a little bit to your needs. So your needs, if you think about what you need, your needs would be like rent or a mortgage payment. It could be needs for your car, gas, and any maintenance. It'd be groceries, anything you eat, clothes when you need them, anything that you need, anything that you have to survive and have just your basic needs. So some people, theirs can be 30%. I feel like me as a college student, 50% of my income really, I don't need a lot of things. I need gas and sometimes clothes and rent money, but other than that, not really much things plus groceries. 20% goes to savings and 30% goes to wants. So 20%, you should be saving at least about 10 to 20% of your income. But if you are in debt, a really smart thing is to put this money towards debt, to create an emergency fund, have cash stashed away just in case you need it, but then take the rest of your money, put it towards your debt, get rid of debt, and then start saving once you don't owe anybody money. And then 30% goes to your wants. So if you are in dire need of money, or if you have a lot of pressing debt, it's smarter to lower the percentage going to your wants and higher the percentage going to savings or to debt payments. So it's pretty basic. It's whatever you decide, whatever works best for you. But that's it. So now hopefully you understand why you need a budget, so that you can just be prepared for emergencies, so you can be prepared for anything that life might throw at you. Just so you can spend your money how you want, so you are in control. So that every time you get paid, every time you make $1, you're not having to give it to a bunch of other people. You can say, I want to spend my money on this, and I've budgeted for that, and I have money and I can do it without worrying, just freely doing what you want. And then kind of a very basic way of creating a budget, and you get to decide what money goes where. You decide your wants and needs and how much you want to save, so that you personally will be just fine. So my challenge to you guys today is to look at where you're at right now financially, make some goals, and create the 50-20-30 budget, because it really is very simple and it can make a huge difference in your life. If you start now, the earlier the better, and you will be way ahead of the game 20, 30, 40 years from now. You'll be able to retire worry-free, but even before then, you'll be able to graduate college worry-free, you'll be able to vacation worry-free, anything, you name it, it'll be just fine. So that's my challenge to you guys. Thank you so much for coming. It was really fun for me to be able to talk about something that I love. If you have more questions, please stick around, and I would love to answer them for you. Thank you.